Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Learn This Deck with the Dreaming Way Tarot. And today we are looking at the tens. This is all the four tens from the Minor Arcana. And before we dive in, we are going to just take a quick look at what the number aspect of 10 is all about. The deck creator in the LWB says that the tens are all about excess. Now, if you recall the journey of the numbers from 1 to 9, right? We have 1 where things sort of let me take a quick look at the LWB here. Yeah. At 1, it's like, I'm here, that it asserts its existence. In 2, it kind of meets another of itself, and that's very unique. And then at 3, there is that first stage of completion where something really is sort of solidified. Then at 4, it stabilizes. At 5, we have a difficulty or a challenge, a little bit of struggle, till you come at 6, where there is a little bit more of a stable situation, the second stage of completion. And then at 7, there's that whole illusion phase where it's like chasing the pot at the end of the rainbow kind of feeling. But then at 8, you go back to the basics and you relearn, but with all the experience of the past behind you. Finally, at 9, we have the third or final stage of completion. So now at 10, you're just going beyond the 9. So once everything is completed, what happens is you see an excess. It's like going extra, it's going overboard. And this is what the number 10 is all about, where we have too much or too little. It's the same effect. Too much has the same effect as too little. It only makes things worse. And so when you take things to the excess or to the extreme, so what are the problems that will occur is exactly what we're going to see in all the 4 suits according to their suit elements, what goes to the extreme. So without any further ado, let's just get right into it. The suit of wands, all about fire, passion, that sort of thing. So now in the suit of wands, when we go to the extreme, when everything is all sorted and sort of come to a certain nice sort of concluding scenario in the line, at the 10, this guy goes overboard, and now he's got 10 wands, and those 10 wands have burdened him. The way he bends over, he's picking up all the wands and to hold in his hand, it's gonna cause him, it's like overextending himself, because we know wands are all about passion, about desire, it's about the things you want to do. And now he has overextended himself. There's only so much you can do at one time. There's only so many multitasking sort of threads you can run at one time. And now this guy's got all 10 of them. And that is the extremeness of this situation, where he's just going and doing every little thing. So, upright, this card talks about someone who takes on far too many responsibilities than what he can handle. Or he gets burdened with those responsibilities. Worst case scenario, he's a control freak, this guy. He simply cannot trust anybody else to do the job as good as he does it. And so he's like, leave it, I'll do it, leave it, I'll do it. We all know a person like that, don't we? That's the 10 of wands. And what happens ultimately is ends up burdening him. So I'm sorry, I just struck me here. This card can also talk about back problems, because stress can bring about these issues as well. So it can talk about someone who is really burdened with work, overworked, or has stress problems, or he has back problems. So that sort of thing can happen with the 10 of wands. Of course, you take this card and you reverse it. What you're going to see is he's finally able to let go of those additional sort of responsibilities. He starts delegating his work. He starts letting go of his control freaky nature, and he's like, okay, fine. Take a deep breath, let it go. Take a deep breath, let it go. Now, if you see, because even in the picture, all those wands are gonna fall down. He's also gonna fall down. It's gonna be, like if you're weighed down with a big heavy load on your back, and that you've done that for so long, you feel that that load has become part of you, and then that load is suddenly taken away, the lightness sort of creates an imbalance, and for that few moments you'll stumble, you'll fall, you'll be disoriented. That's exactly what happens in the Ten of Wands reversed. But ultimately, even a few moments later, you are able to get back up and feel lighter and good. So that is the Ten of Wands reversed. It's kind of nice to see this card reversed there. One of those few cards you prefer to have in reverse reading. That's your Ten of Wands. So, what was my card story for this one? Everyone tells me to take it easy and to let others take on some responsibilities. I do understand their point of view. I'm tired too. But what else can I do when none of these people can be trusted to do their tasks properly? They haven't yet proved themselves, and if things aren't done correctly, it won't sit well with me. This is so tiring. But who else is going to do it? So this is the whole control freaky, point of view there. And he's like, if not me, then who? Who's going to do all these things? He is a control freak, and therefore he takes on all those things. So that's the version of the story that I felt when I got into the card today. Okay. So with that Wands energy now behind us, we are going to look at the very, very air, logic, swords energy. And yes, because the suit of swords generally gets a kind of a bad rep, the mind energy always is, I don't understand why, but the mind energy is largely portrayed as being negative. And this is the worst. This is like when all these swords, if you see the picture, it's gorgeous, really, this picture, the way it's been drawn and stuff. It's all these 10 swords stuck into this guy, and he's obviously lying on the ground there, and he's totally immobilized. Now, since this is very symbolic, right? All of these swords are all about thoughts. These are all about the mind chatter. These are all about the negative self-talk that keeps playing out inside of your head. And the fact that it has struck the body here, the way that it's shown, means that this negative self-talk has ultimately pierced through your protective self-talk, so to speak, and you have now that it has immobilized you, it has destabilized you, it has kind of brought you to a point where you just are not able to move forward in any way. This is your Ten of Swords. Now, in a reading, this can show up in various ways, okay? It can even sometimes show up as someone who is in very, very extreme physical pain. It can show up as someone who's going through a lot of emotional or mental pain. So this one is all about pain and painful endings. All right. This is in a very extreme situation that leaves you in a completely stuck position. But most of it is because, I mean, unless it's a very physical ailment or health issue, this card almost always is about situations where you have also contributed somewhere with your negative self-talk. This is often a self-inflicted immobility where you have taken on the suffering when you could have stopped it earlier on. You just went on, and this is like the peak or the extreme end of this negative mind chatter that has brought you here and now has created a situation where you're totally immobile. It's extremism of the swords. So when this card becomes reversed, heave a sigh of relief. All those swords are finally going to slowly come out. This card in the reverse is obviously preferable. You're dealing with pain, you're slowly coming unstuck, and you're realistically handling that negative self-talk. So in the reverse, this card shows, because if you see now, the swords will fall out of his body, right? But it's not like it's going to happen right away. It's a slow process. You have to keep working at it. But the Ten of Swords in the reverse does definitely show a slow, gradual sort of movement towards something positive. So that, in that way. Now, this is where in the sword suit, the air energy, the negative aspect of the air energy, which is always portrayed in tarot suits most of the time, is kind of taken to the extreme, and you see this happen. So, what was my card story? As I'm lying here feeling each and every twinge of pain through my entire body, I finally realize where I've been going wrong all this time. This is the suffering that I've caused upon myself. I chose to believe things which weren't true and cause my own hurt. Others may have hurt me, but I have hurt myself more than that. I have let myself become the victim of self pity, and now I'm suffering for it. So I guess at this point, lying there, this guy is finally able to sort of break through the negative chatter, because he's now completely rendered useless, right, with because of it. And now he finally sees where he's gone wrong, how he went wrong, what happened, and everything. He start finally. So I guess sometimes it's required that you come to this stage so you can see things clearly. That's also the case with many people. They have to get to that point of no return, and that's when they see the truth. So in a reading, sometimes you will see these situations or these sort of flows of energy. And I guess as a reader, it's your job to tell the client the truth, but also to recognize when to facilitate his understanding of what the process is going to be like. So it's a tough job, but someone's got to do it, right? That's your Ten of Swords. So now moving to these flowing cups energy. We have a nice, happy family picture here with all the 10 swords sort of floating through the air, and we see a cute family picture, father, mother, two kids. Everybody's happy, everybody's playing with each other. This card is a like the happily ever after kind of picture, an emotionally content family. It's a joyful family life and happiness all around. This is the card of family and happy families. This is a happy, joyful family card, right? But when you reverse this card, all of those cups are going to fall down. Everything is not going to be so happy anymore. It becomes an emotionally disconnected family. There's discontented family life. And this happens too. This card often comes up reversed to show distance between family members. Now, this distance could be emotional distance, or it could be actual physical distance. So it's like this is an emotionally connected family, but for work purposes or whatever, study this, that, you go to college, you move to a different location, and but you're still so bonded with your family, but you have a physical distance. Sometimes this card comes up reversed to show that also. So I've seen it happen many times, but that's your Ten of Cups reversed. So what's the card story? This is what a happily ever after looks like. I'm so very happy in this moment. My family and I, we are truly blessed. The blissful joy that every single day brings to my life is incomparable. I'm truly grateful for having such love in my life. It wasn't easy getting here, but I'm going to put all my efforts into remaining here. So this guy realizes that it wasn't easy to come to this point, right? Happily ever after doesn't just pop up. You have to work towards it every single day, and you have to be grateful so that the love keeps flowing. So he has that understanding, he has that emotional maturity to sort of get to that point. So now when the feelings aspect of the cups is taken to an extreme sort of situation, you do see a pretty decent, pretty happily ever after kind of scene there in the card of the Ten of Cups. So finally, let's come to the Suit of Pentacles, where everything sort of ultimately manifests, and see this picture. This is not your traditional Rider-Waite-ish image of the Ten of Pentacles. No, it's not. We do see people there well dressed, each of them holding a couple of pentacles, and then we have pentacles flying in the sky and all of that. But only this old man in the front, he looks happy, he looks good, he looks pleased. Then we see those two guys, the one green and the in yellow, they're kind of gossiping and they have the very nasty look on their face. Even the guy in red, he has a very nasty look on his face, like he's jealous or upset or something. So except for this guy, the old guy, with the white beard and everything, who looks okay, he's happy, he doesn't mind. So I'm looking at this picture and the first feeling I get is that yes, someone has become financially successful, but that success attracts jealousy. This old guy here, he could be a successful partnership or that kind of a relationship with our client, but the client should also watch out for traps set by people that he trusts. So the other three guys, the green, yellow, red guy, they are jealous of him and not really happy about seeing him achieve the kind of success that he has achieved, and so they're gonna do something nasty. That's the feeling I got when I looked at them. I'm like, these guys are up to no good, you better watch out. And that's your Ten of Pentacles up right here in this deck. So when this card becomes reversed, it's kind of a good picture, because even though there is a delay, it could indicate a delay in financial success. Here we see that this jealousy can also bring losses. So it's like a mixed bag. Jealousy can bring losses. So because of this, there's problems, or it can cause that financial success delay there. It could also indicate an unsuccessful partnership. But then on the other extreme end of this card being reversed, in terms of the meaning, we see that troubles due to these jealous people are resolved. So that in the reverse, this could also show that all these people and the troubles and the traps that they set out for this guy, he finds them, he resolves them, right? So either on one end of the spectrum, he goes, he suffers because of it, and the other end, he resolves it. But that's the reverse card. You go with your intuition, and what's the feeling you get when you open it, whether it's or whether it's go with that feeling, and that's the meaning that it's trying to tell you that day for that reading. Okay, so what was the card story? I finally come to this point in my life where all things are looking good and I'm doing so well with my life. However, it was at this point that I started to see how people changed around me. Greed for money certainly brings out the best and worst in people. It makes them change. It makes monsters out of men. Oh, out of men. I meant men. Jealousy and greed can really make people evil. I know I have to be really careful now. Okay. So at Ten of Pentacles, again, we have the whole Pentacles energy going to its extreme, where, all of that extra extreme wealth or too much wealth brings or attracts negativity along with a little bit of positivity, but there's a whole lot of negativity. And then you see through things, you're like, oh my god, this person is so greedy. That sort of thing happens in the Ten of Pentacles in this deck. So, what was your card story like? What was your journal entry like? What was your interpretation of the different tens in this minor arcana of the Dreaming Way Tarot? Take a picture, post it on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, because you can use the hashtag Learn This Deck over there. You could also use tens, minor arcana, Dreaming Way Tarot, and Tarotically Speaking. And with the help of these hashtags, we can, search each other, find each other, share our information with each other, and together we can learn this deck. Okay, so now here's the thing. Today is, I believe, a Thursday. So I might not make a video tomorrow because I'm just gonna chill for a bit, or I I will make a video. I don't know. I'm not so sure. Let's see how I feel tomorrow. But then the week after, whether I make this video or not, it's gonna be pages, knights, queens, and kings. So one at a time. So that's how it'll go. So we're gonna look at the court cards, and that's gonna be really interesting. So stick around. All right. And I will see you the next time, either tomorrow or on Monday, with the pages. In the meantime, be good, stay good, and learn this deck. Bye now.